What tips or advice do you have for how students should approach or communicate with you or with their professors in general when students have questions or concerns?
Students don't understand that communication with their professors is professional communication. And they need to think about it in that way. This is teaching them how to communicate professionally. This is their chance to learn that. I don't expect them to be perfect, but this is something that they have to develop over time. And here's what I recommend. They should think before communicating. This is extremely important in all professional communication, right? And when I say think before they communicate, it's not just, should I be sending this? It is, they need to be clear about what it is that they want to communicate. If you don't know what you are trying to communicate, then you cannot communicate it well. They need to also think about what they want from the communication. If you don't know what it is you want to communicate or what it is you want from the communication, then it's not going to work. And then the last part would be, they need to think about what is required of the reader based on the communication. If you put these three things together before you write anything, then you will probably be able to do it effectively. The other thing is really simple, and everyone knows this, but they still don't do it, including myself. Proof anything that you send prior to sending it. This is extremely important because it's not just that it makes you look bad. It's that it can break down the communication completely. If I see something that's poorly written, then I'm not going to regard it in the same way. And worse, if it's poorly written, I may not understand what they're trying to communicate. If it's just a missing word, sometimes I can put it in, but not always. Students need to communicate earlier. And by earlier, I mean prior to missing classes, assessments, tests. Sending me an email after the fact limits what I can do. And that's the next point, is that students need to communicate something to professors that we can actually respond to. So many times I get an email that, and this sort of goes back to know what it is that you're trying to communicate, know what it is that you want, and know, or at least think about how the other person can possibly respond. I'll get emails from students that I have no way to respond to. That doesn't help anybody. All it does is frustrate me and frustrate the student because I'm not responding. You have to give me something I can respond to. Ask a question, make a request. If you don't know what it is that you want from a communication, if you don't know what it is that can be done, say, I don't know what can be done. At least you're acknowledging the fact that, yeah, I don't know what can be done. And I may respond back with, I don't know what can be done either. But at least everybody is sort of together. So examples are an email about personal problems. What do I do with that? I don't know what I can do with that other than be sympathetic and say, that's horrible. I'm so sorry. An apology for missing class or work. I'm sorry that I missed this assignment. I'm sorry too, because you got a 0. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing I can do to that. There's literally no response. Statements about why they're not performing well in class would be another example. I have this going on and I know it's affecting my grades. I don't know what to say. There isn't anything that I can do. It makes me sympathetic, but doesn't allow for any action on my part.